kitchen makeover part 2. That's actually 4, but part 2. So that'll be our little pillow house. Perfect. Yes! That was easier than I made it look. Welcome and welcome back to my channel, you guys. So today we are making over my kitchen, and it's actually just this little section of wall. Now you might be thinking, Hala, it's so small, how is this going to be a whole video? Well, let me tell you, I'm going to be building something very specific for here that's going to create a little bit more bench space in our very small kitchen that has really no bench space at all. There'll be a little bit of decor action going on above it, and then underneath we actually have some cushions that we need to store. And the reason I want to store them in the kitchen is because they are my outdoor cushions, and due to, I'm gonna say, laziness, I rarely bring them inside when it rains. I just kind of like shove them against the door. Actually, I'll show you guys because that's where they are right now. It rained yesterday. So you guys can see here, I've just kind of like shoved them here so that they dry. These guys need a home that is not on the floor in the rain. It's gonna be a tilt out cupboard. No idea how I'm gonna do this yet. Probably watch some videos and then kind of figure it out. I need to get some measurements happening over here so I can figure out exactly how big I want to build this thing. I also need to measure my cushions to make sure that they are going to fit. All in all, we've got a little bit of measuring to do, and then we can bust out the miter saw, which is obviously so much fun. Now, I definitely wouldn't take my measuring system as the way you should definitely do it. I'll let you know at the end if it's worked out. Listen, I know there's a better way. I just don't know it. So I'm going with whatever makes logical sense in my brain to me, and at this stage, this is it. I've got my measurements. We need to pop downstairs. We're gonna build the frame first, and then we're gonna figure out the tilt system afterwards. That's phase 2. I've got 3 1x12x6s here. I've had them here for a little while. I know I'm definitely going to have to go to Home Depot and get more wood at some point, but my plan for this project is to try and use as much as what I already have. Things like support pieces or pieces that won't be seen will definitely be used from my stockpile, which is behind you at the moment. I've got a lot of sort of leftover bits there, and I'm trying to minimize the cost as much as possible for this project. So I've sort of adjusted my measurements accordingly. Because there are cushions going in, it gives me a little more flexibility, which is good news, because you can smush them, you know? Yeah. We're going to start by cutting the top, the 2 sides, and also the base, and assembling this framework so we can make sure that next steps, phase 2, works out really well. My base pieces and side pieces have been cut, as well as the top, but with the base and the 2 side pieces, I do need to take a little bit off the width of the boards because I want some overhang on my top piece, so I have to remove some of this. So we're just going to take off 1 inch on each.
I put my feet up and we just sing along, and I can't help but feeling just loving this moment. Can we stay here?
I've actually never done that left-handed before. It was a really weird feeling, or like with my left hand controlling the power. It's quite a weird feeling, but I couldn't just like with it. It just wouldn't work, and I don't know what that was. Okay, moving on. Next board.
Forever, forever, forever.
Yes, you guys! It's gonna look so good! I definitely need to put in some pocket holes now, so yeah. We're gonna pocket hole this puppy. It's not a puppy. I love you, I love you, I love you. Thank you. You look so good.
What if the world had more of your smile? What if the wind could spread your love?
Hello. The main frame is built, which is fantastic, so very good news. I haven't added the top on yet. but it will go like this. So that'll be our little pillar house. But I need to build the interior part. So I just need to figure out exactly how I want to do that, and then we're going to get into building that. So I just went upstairs to see how the frame was fitting against the wall, and I knew that I was going to have to make some adjustments for the trim. And then I think we're good to go with the frame. Okay, you guys, this is where we're at the moment. I haven't actually attached the top yet, but I have... Oh, hello, madam. But I have done this around the baseboards. It's not perfect. In fact, actually, this side is the best one. It's kind of the cleanest. Whereas this side, on the outside, you can see that there's just like a little bit more of a gap. So I did actually add 2 additional pieces here, and that's for the hinges on the bottom and then the lock on the top. So I just needed to have something for it to grab onto, or for the door to grab onto. We need to work on the door. So I've got this piece here, piece of plywood. I went to Home Depot and I had them cut it, but not to size, because at Home Depot, although they can do cuts, they can't necessarily do like exactly precise cuts, which is what I need, because this has been built to particular measurements in the space, which involve like 1/8 or 3/4, you know, that kind of stuff that they just don't do at Home Depot. So I need to get that cut. I'm a little nervous because I definitely need to make sure that I cut it correctly the first time, because I don't have another piece to replace it with if it doesn't work. I think the easiest way to do it is to actually lay it down, put this on top, and then draw it out, and then double check my measurements to see if that works. The moment of truth. I hope it fits, but we'll see. It's pretty good at the top, but this side is too wide, which is annoying, and I'm not really sure how that happened, but it happened. So I'm gonna trim that. I'm gonna do it off camera, and then I'll pop back on when it's perfect. Bum, 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 bum. It fits! Oh, so good. Perfect. The hinges that I've decided to go with are these. I think that they're kind of cool, a little bit vintagey, I don't know, almost medieval looking. And I will actually be spray painting these black to match the kitchen pools. So I just need to get my placement right for these, and then attach them so we can have a little bit of tilt action going on.
I'm gonna let the sun shine in today. I'm trying to make this dark.
Let's see if this works. Yes! We have hinges! I mean, I'm obsessed. I'm so happy. It's working. Thank you. Now I need to build support for this, because this will not work as it is. So I've worked out the angle for the bottom tilt support, and then I need to kind of figure out the second one. I sort of worked it out on here, but it's maybe like it's a little bit more complicated. So we're gonna cut the angle at 18 degrees for this one first, and then I'm gonna show you how I will figure out the perfect angle for the other side. That 18 degrees is pretty well perfect, and I think what I'm going to do to get my other angle, I'll be honest, it's a little tricky to show you, but essentially what I'm doing is I'm drawing a line here that meets up with this line, and then the same thing on the other side. So then I'm going to join that together to create my perfect angle. Well, in theory, perfect angle.
Heart's been broken. And take this weight off my shoulders, 'cause I know yesterday ain't coming back.
So this does work, but I actually didn't really think about it. I don't want that flat bit at the top. I want my angle to come from here, from this corner. So I'm gonna redo it and see if I can make it a little bit better so it's kind of like very seamless. I've got both my pieces here, and I'm just gonna pop in some pocket holes so that I can attach it to the base piece, this little piece here, and also to the door, so that we've got our little tilt action. Now we need to see if the tilt actually works. So I'm gonna turn this around and we can check it out together. I really hope it works. I also put the little top lock on. It's a bit tight. I might need to sand that down a bit actually. But it definitely tilts. So this is what it looks like at the back. You can see the piece here that's keeping the base piece in place, the same as on the other side. The idea for the little stoppers actually came from Shara Woodshop Diaries. She did a tilt out laundry cabinet, and I looked at a lot of tilt cabinet videos on YouTube to kind of see what the best and easiest method was, and to be honest, hers was the easiest and best way to do it. So I've got these little blocks that I'm going to put in on the sides here at the correct tilt. So I need to check and see how far I want this to tilt out and then secure my block in place. I think that feels like the right amount. Yes! I'm so happy! Well, I'm pretty good at this stuff. Getting there anyway. I'm going to kick it off with a 120 grit sandpaper because the stain that we're going to use requires a 120 to a 150 grit before you apply it. And I'm going with the color Dark Walnut.
Yesterday there was sun and there was rain.
While that stain is drying, we're going to move on to part of the decor that I want to put up, but also DIY a little bit if possible. So it's the Bekvam Ikea spice racks. They're super common, lots of people have them. I want to see if I can join two of them together so that they create one long spice rack, but mostly I think I want to use it for cookbooks. Okay. That was easier than I made it look. To join the IKEA spice racks together, I'm putting one of the side pieces on each of the base pieces and securing them with the screws provided. Then, because the spice racks as is would be just too long for the space that I have, I'm cutting about 1.5 inches from each using my miter saw. I also cut down the wood dowel that goes across the front of the spice rack. After checking that my cuts are correct, I use one of the unused side pieces which have holes in them as a template for where I need to drill holes in the base piece so that I can add the leftover wooden dowels that came with the spice rack to ensure that the two pieces stay together really well. I use wood glue to secure everything, then sand, apply some wood filler, and of course sand again.
Undercover agents of the other, beyond gravel, beyond dawn.
I'm using the same dark walnut stain so that we have a fairly seamless look, but the spice rack wood definitely did take on the stain a little bit differently compared to the additional piece. We need to get a top coat on, and I've decided to go for the polyacrylic clear satin. How have I decided to go with this? Is polyacrylic food safe? I need to Google that. Polyacrylic is food safe. Once the finish has completely cured, it becomes completely food safe. So that's good. I mean, at the end of the day, I'm not planning to put food on this little piece here and then on the other one, which is the additional storage. Possibly we might do like a little bit of food prep, but we would have a cutting board down first. So good to know, polyacrylic is food safe.
I was never the one to write up a song for just anyone. I was always the one to find myself lost in old conversations. Oh, 'cause I've always been told that things will unfold if you keep on waiting. But then you came along and proved me all wrong. I was so mistaken, 'cause you glue all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them
Guys,
better.
it is time to install this piece and have it affixed to the wall. So I have removed the little blocks at the moment just so that this can go all the way down, make it easier for myself. But I'm going to affix it at the top here and then also down here so that it's nice and secure. I use my stud finder, so I think I've found where my studs are, as long as the stud finder actually works. So we're going to do that now and get this nice and secured to the wall.
Hey, darling, can I tell you what's been on my mind? Sick and tired of the 9 to 5 in the city light. Hey, darling.
It's time for the Quokka calendar to come down. I know, it's cute. Quokkas are gorgeous, but this is going to be relocated. If you guys don't know what a quokka is, it's an Australian animal. I think it lives on only one island in Australia. I've actually never seen one because it's on the west coast of Australia, and they always smile. Look at his little face, he's smiling. So cute. I have this. It is the Hultarp Ikea rack, and we're just gonna find the right height to pop this at and then put this in. It is gonna be a little higher because they do want to hang some small cutting boards on there, so it needs to have like a little bit of height.
Love, never get enough. We never seem to get older. Things are going right. You seem to have the time, but when it's hard, you just grow colder. We should be good, but we keep lighting fires. The words would be, cause we're scared of the silence. We should be good, but we keep lighting fires, fires around us.
It's a new day. Technically, it's actually the final day of filming because I have to get this video live in like 2 hours. So we really need to get styling so that you guys can see the before and after of this little mini makeover. I've got a couple of things here that I've kind of pulled from around my house. I'm gonna use this book for styling purposes. It's a really great book. I definitely recommend it. I put it in my original part 1 kitchen makeover, which if you guys haven't seen it, I don't think I said this at the start, but definitely go and check that out. This book is incredible. It's called Eat, Drink, Nap. It's by Soho House, and it's just got all of this incredible stuff in here. They talk about like how to make a mood board, the different hotels they have, the different inspiration, vintage items, sourcing things, everything. And it's got recipes too, so it is very cool. It will not stay in this space. I will actually move it back to its location that I have it in for the part 1 kitchen makeover. I have 2 other cookbooks coming, but they're not arriving until like 8 o'clock tonight, so not in time for this video to come out, but we are going to use this for styling reasons today. So I'm gonna kick it off with the book, I think. Got 2 cutting boards which I think are really cute. This one I got for $9.99 from HomeSense, and then this one I think it was maybe $14.99 or $15.99, and it was from H&M Home. I'm only putting these 2 up on these hooks, but potentially in time I will put more or something else. I just don't know what yet. I wanted to kind of keep it a little bit open for additions to be made. I'd love to find a vintage cutting board actually. So we are all styled up. Just quickly before I get into the before and after shots, I do want to be completely transparent with you guys. This is not perfect. There's a couple of changes that I will need to make, but I really wanted to get the video out for you guys today, and it wasn't really going to impact you if you didn't, if I didn't fix this before the video went out. But it's just here. You may have noticed that I did actually change the handle. Originally I had a little clasp here that was really pretty. Unfortunately, it just wasn't strong enough to keep this closed. It's tight with the pillows in here, like very, very, very tight. Everything fits, but it does need a little bit of oomph, you know, to get it there. So I put these two, I think they're called barrel locks, on the side, and then this handle here just to give a little bit more control. I do still need to do a bit of wood filler and tidy up the holes that were there from the previous little lock, but that will be done in time. Actually, I'll probably do that over on my Instagram. So speaking of segues, I mean Instagram. If you guys aren't following me over on Instagram, definitely go and check me out on there. I'll do a little bit more behind the scenes and try and share some updates with you guys. I will also share the cookbooks that will go in here, so when they arrive tonight, tomorrow, I'll take some photos and I'll share that so you guys can see what those cookbooks are. I will pop them up on the screen as well, just in case you're curious. I think that this little space has come such a long way and I'm really proud of it. I think it looks so pretty. It's also functional, so let's have a little look at some before and afters. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this sort of DIY build mini kitchen makeover project. If you guys are not subscribed, definitely do that and hit the bell notification so that you know when I upload every week. I actually have a very fun one coming out next week. It is a DIY for my cat. But if you don't own a cat, I think it's fun enough that you will still enjoy it. So definitely check out that makeover next week, and then there's a whole bunch of makeovers and projects and everything coming up very, very soon. I'm super excited about it. I just wish I had more time to do them faster and share it with you faster for you guys, but only so much time in a day. I'll see you guys next week. Bye. When I say oomph, this is what I mean. Voiceover. Oh, thank you. I love you. I love you too. Do 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 do. Before.